This is not a surprise to anybody. It is really sad that it has got to this point. I have got to do something. My life, my story, and every experience that I have had have been turned into a headline that people find interesting. It has been years since Meghan Markle and Prince Harry welcomed their son, Archie, but their story is again making headlines. What was once seen as a royal moment is now being questioned in ways that nobody expected. New claims from Tom Bower and Lady Colin Campbell are raising concerns about what really happened behind the scenes. Some details do not seem to add up. The silence from the couple is only fueling more speculation. So what is the truth? Why are these questions coming back now? Join us as we uncover the story that is making headlines. Tom Bower's statement concerning Meghan Markle's childbirth is something that you do not want to miss. Over the years, Tom Bower has built a reputation as someone who does not deal in guesses or rumors. He investigates, he verifies, and then he publishes. More often than not, what he publishes turns out to be accurate. Just like when Bower took on Robert Maxwell, exposing secrets that were fiercely denied, while Maxwell was alive, only for those exact claims to be confirmed after his death. Tom Bower has shown that when he says something, it rarely comes out of nowhere. That is exactly why people are paying attention to him now, because this time he has turned his focus to the story surrounding Meghan Markle's child. It all came together in his 2022 book, Revenge: Meghan, Harry, and the War Between the Windsors. At first, like controversial books, it was dismissed by supporters of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. Critics called it one-sided. Others said it was exaggerated. As months passed, details from the book started lining up with later reports, interviews, and behind-the-scenes revelations. Slowly, the narrative began to shift from "this is just another attack" to "what if there is more to this than we thought?" It was not just the overall story that caught attention. It was one moment that stood out more than anything else: the birth of Archie. Now, at the time, the public was told a simple story. A couple choosing privacy, a decision to do things differently, a desire to protect their child from intense media pressure. According to Tom Bower, that was not the story. In his book, he described the events surrounding Archie's birth in a level of detail that had not been fully brought before. Bower claimed that behind the scenes there had been discussions involving Oprah Winfrey, an arrangement that would have given her exclusive access to key details surrounding the birth. If true, this would explain something that had puzzled watchers from the start: the unusual level of secrecy. Because this was not about limiting press access. It was about breaking from established royal traditions. No immediate hospital announcement, no photo call, no clear confirmation of details that had always been made public in previous royal births. At the time, it was framed as an approach. Tom Bower suggested it may have been something else entirely, an attempt to control timing, access, and narrative in a way that had not been done before. Then came the turning point. According to his account, when the palace became aware of these behind-the-scenes discussions, it did not support the arrangement. The idea of a media deal involving such a significant royal moment reportedly did not sit well with the late Queen Elizabeth. As a result, whatever plan had been in place fell apart. By then, the structure around the birth, the secrecy, the controlled information, the departure from tradition had already been set in motion, which left a situation that from the outside did not quite make sense, because now there was a level of secrecy without a public reason for it. Tom Bower did not stop there. He also turned his attention to another moment that had already sparked debate: the question of Archie's royal title. During the viewed interview with Oprah, Meghan Markle suggested that the decision not to grant Archie a prince title had been made externally, with implications that led many to question whether there were deeper issues behind that decision. However, Tom Bower pointed to an explanation. He referenced the standing rules established under George V in 1917, which clearly defined how royal titles are assigned. Under those rules, Archie would not automatically be a prince at birth. Importantly, Bower noted that at the time of Archie's birth, statements from Meghan Markle's own representatives indicated that she did not want her son to hold a title. In words, the situation may not have been imposed from the outside, but rather aligned with their own initial preference. Now interpretations of this vary widely. Supporters argue that Meghan Markle was expressing how events felt from her perspective. Critics argue that the public narrative did not fully match the documented facts. Regardless of where one stands, it added another layer to an already complicated story. Because when you put these pieces together, the secrecy around the birth, the questions about media involvement, the conflicting accounts about titles, a pattern begins to form. Not necessarily a single shocking revelation, something more subtle, a pattern of control. Control over information about the birth of Archie. That pattern is exactly what Tom Bower expanded on in his second book, Betrayal, Power, Deceit, and the Fight for the Future of the Royal Family. In it, he went further, describing concerns from within royal circles about influence, decision-making, and the changing dynamic around Prince Harry himself. Among the talked-about claims were suggestions attributed to private conversations that Queen Camilla told a friend that Meghan Markle had brainwashed Harry. These claims remain controversial, and like much of Tom Bower's work, they are debated. When placed alongside his earlier reporting, they reinforce a consistent theme, one that keeps bringing attention back to moments like Archie's birth. Because once people begin to believe that such a significant event may have been carefully managed behind the scenes, it naturally leads to questions. That is exactly where voices like Lady Colin Campbell come in. For years, she has raised questions about the circumstances surrounding the births of the couple's children, questions that once dismissed outright. But in the context of Tom Bower's reporting, those questions have started to gain new attention. Not because they have been proven, but because the story around them no longer feels as simple as it once did. So keep watching, because there is more to this story. Lady Colin Campbell has built a reputation in the world that few can match. She is not another commentator sharing opinions. She has a record of getting it when most others were wrong. In the 1990s, for example, Lady Colin was one of the first people to reveal the truth about Princess Diana's troubled marriage to King Charles III. At the time, the official story presented a happy royal marriage. Anyone who suggested otherwise was ridiculed. Lady Colin Campbell went against that narrative, was criticized heavily, but she was eventually proven correct. That history is why many people today take her seriously, even if they do not agree with everything she says. Since April 2024, Lady Colin Campbell has been raising a specific and unusual question. She wants Buckingham Palace to provide absolute proof that Meghan Markle personally gave birth to her children, Archie and Lilibet Diana. She is careful to clarify that she does not claim to have evidence of surrogacy. Her argument is rooted in the circumstances surrounding the births. 9:31 minutes, 31 seconds. There are some things that do not add up about the births of Meghan and Harry's kids. 9:37 minutes, 37 seconds. Lady Colin Campbell says the British public has a right to know what is going on when it comes to the line of succession. 9:44 minutes, 44 seconds. If there is any uncertainty, it could have implications for the monarchy. 9:50 minutes, 50 seconds. Lady Colin Campbell points out things that she says raise legitimate questions. 9:55 minutes, 55 seconds. For example, the way Archie's birth was handled was very different from royal births. 10:03 minutes, 10 seconds. Normally, the royal family makes an announcement when a baby is born, but that did not happen with Archie. 10 minutes, 10 seconds. The information about his birth came out slowly and in a way that was not typical. 10:13 minutes, 13 seconds. Lady Colin Campbell argues that this secrecy is not normal in a family where tradition and protocol are so important. 10:21 minutes, 21 seconds. She says that this kind of secrecy is bound to make people wonder what is going on. 10:27 minutes, 27 seconds. Another thing that Lady Colin Campbell points out is that Archie's birth certificate was changed. The first version had formal names and titles, but it was later updated. While the palace said this was a standard administrative update, Lady Colin Campbell thinks it is part of a pattern. She says that small inconsistencies and unexplained changes can make people doubt what is going on. Lady Colin Campbell is also concerned about the timeline of when the kids were added to the official line of succession on the royal website. Archie and Lilibet were not listed right away, which is not what normally happens. In the past, when a new baby is born to the family, they are added to the list of people in line for the throne right away. Lady Colin Campbell says that the delay in adding Archie and Lilibet to the list, combined with strange things that happened, created a sense of confusion. Lady Colin Campbell has also said that Meghan has not directly addressed the rumours about her kids' births. While Meghan has posted on social media and given interviews, Lady Colin Campbell argues that these are not the same as a clear official statement. She says that the public deserves transparency on matters that affect the line of succession and the legitimacy of the monarchy. In June 2025, Meghan posted a video on Instagram that showed her and Harry in a hospital room. She was clearly pregnant. Many people thought this video was proof that Meghan had carried the baby herself, but it did not end the speculation. Some people questioned whether Meghan's baby bump was real or if it was a prosthetic. 12:07 minutes, 12 seconds. Doctors said that the appearance of the bump could be influenced by equipment. 12:12 minutes, 12 seconds. Regardless of the explanation, the video sparked renewed discussion and kept people talking about the story. 12:19 minutes, 12 seconds. Lady Colin Campbell has continued to ask questions about the births of Meghan and Harry's kids. 12:26 minutes, 12 seconds. She is not saying that she has proof of surrogacy, but she argues that the couple's actions created an environment where doubt could arise. 12:34 minutes, 12 seconds. She says that the secrecy, delays, and small inconsistencies have left gaps in the story that the palace needs to fill. 12:38 minutes, 12 seconds. Lady Colin Campbell's concern is also rooted in constitutional law. 12:46 minutes, 12 seconds. In the UK,